Do I have everybody's attention now?
Welcome to STS Radio.
You just wait and see how far we're gonna go.
Because regular radio fucking sucks.
Welcome to the latest episode of Let Us Cast.
Yes.
I think that's the new name. We've finally set it on.
For now, for this week.
This week. Last week it was Bruce and Andy. The week before that it was STS Radio. So.
Card is subject to change. We're like Nirvana, man. Every show we play, we're a different name. So maybe next week will be Pen Cap Chew, and the week after that will be fucking Fred, Ted, and Ed. You know.
The week after that, Bent Brother.
Yeah, just keep fucking around with it until eventually we hit Nirvana.
Yeah, that could work.
I don't know. I think somebody already used that. I think his name was like Kurt Cobain or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't a podcast, but I think that name might be in use.
Well, and for maybe that purpose, but.
But also, I also can't picture. Thanks for listening to Nirvana.
Welcome to Nirvana.
It sounds like a yoga podcast, not like our podcast. Not that I have anything against yoga because I do DDP yoga, but.
Well, yeah, but still.
I think he calls it DDPY now. Like he's kind of up in arms about that.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm not going to fight him because, he's DDP and, I'm me, but...
Yeah, no.
So, but it's like, all right, DDPY, I got you. No problem. Don't hurt me.
Next week. It's DDP yoga. Yoga for regular guys.
He did change it like 5 times, dude. Like, to be fair.
He did.
Like, every week it was like, hey, it's YRG. In fact, the shit that we had, the DVDs or whatever, fucking say YRG in the background.
Yeah.
But then on the menus, it's DDP yoga. It's the most... crazy thing ever.
Hey,
and then now it's DDPY, I guess.
Hey, look at it this way, man. They're collector's items now.
Yes, yeah. Relics of a bygone era.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't come in here to tell you that. Quote Stephen Wright.
No, but there was a story you wanted to tell on the cast here about your fiance, man.
Yeah. So we are obviously interesting in different times here with this whole COVID thing. So we like to go for walks pretty regularly to just get some fresh air, just get out of the house, stretch the legs a little,
Oh, yeah.
And so Liz actually likes to go out in the morning because it gets more sun. I'm not really particular about it, but I guess I'm a vampire or something. So she likes to get out during the day. So sometimes she'll go for a walk without me while I'm like working or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so she did on this particular day. I forget what day it was. And all of a sudden I get a text that was like, I found a gun. And I was like, qu'est-ce que c'est? She was like, I found a gun. And I was like, what? So she sent me a picture. We have we live in Lowell. There's a bunch of canals and shit, Mill City. So there's going to be a lot of canals. And the canals, invariably throughout the year, they're at different levels. So they I shouldn't say invariably, but throughout the year they're at different levels. And at this particular time of year, they're usually pretty empty. And they just happen to be like empty, like seriously, like dry. Like there's like sand at the bottom. There's no fucking water. It's crazy. It's kind of weird to look at. And there's a lot of trash and shit, which is really kind of upsetting in the first place. And, whatever. Yeah. But I guess she looked down and she saw a gun down there. And I was like, well, that's fucked up. I was like, you gonna call the cops? She's like, yeah, I guess I should. I was like, yeah, I would. I mean, who knows? Like that could be, who knows what the fuck happened here?
Yeah, it could be a fucking murder weapon.
Exactly. So, she calls the cops. She waits for them. She's wearing a mask because we do wear masks when we go out for even just a walk. We're actually, our apartment makes us wear it pretty much anyway, like when we're in the common areas and have been for a long time. So we just pretty much just leave them on whenever we're going to walk anyway. So anyway, she had her mask on. The cops took apparently a decent amount of time to get there, like a surprising amount of time to get there. And her phone was like dying, so she was kind of freaking out, like, hey, my phone's going to die. I hope the cops come in time and shit. So anyway, eventually the cops come and they're like, oh yeah, they're basically like, we get this call a lot. Sometimes like you hear stories about like, the guy with no pants hanging around the subway and it's like, oh, the fucking subway guy again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, that's Carl. Just leave him alone. He's
exactly. Fine. Yeah. So from the sounds of it, this was like, oh, the fucking gun. And apparently it's just like it's not an actual gun. It's it is, but it's like a pellet gun. So it's not like won't fire actual bullets, essentially.
Yeah.
So they were like, we should probably call the fire department and have them remove it. And I guess they did. But like, just the fact that it was a long-standing thing, and they're like, hey, maybe we should remove it now. Like, yeah, you think? Maybe you'll stop getting calls about it. But the other thing that Liz pointed out was that the cops weren't even wearing masks. All this shit's going on, and their fucking motto is protect and serve. The first part of that being protect, and they're not wearing masks. And one of them initiated a fist bump with her because they were cool with her and shit. They were thankful and happy that she called to be like, hey, to report it. But at the same time, like, they weren't necessarily being as careful maybe as I think the cops should be. I don't know how you feel about that, but wouldn't you think that, like, if you're going to call the cops, wouldn't you expect those motherfuckers to be wearing, I don't know, at least a mask, maybe gloves, maybe a shield? I don't know.
Yeah, something.
Something, right? And I guess these motherfuckers roll up in one of the hardest hit cities in our state right now without a mask or any kind of protection. Like, what if they had to arrest somebody? What if that was like a legit murder weapon? Or what if, God forbid, like, she was the suspect and for some reason they had to arrest her? Like, now, like, obviously she didn't do anything, but now she could be exposed to shit just because, like, who knows how many people these fucking cops see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm being paranoid and shit, but in these kinds of times, you have to be a little bit paranoid. You know what I mean?
I think you kind of have to, because, I mean, we're, like, the country hasn't seen something like this in, like, what, 100 years? Like, the last time there was a pandemic.
Yeah,
so,
like, literally.
Yeah. So yeah, like, nobody blames you for being a little paranoid and whatnot. And, like, I gotta tell you, man, I gotta tell you this, too. So, my older brother, so to speak.
Yes.
Apparently he went up to this festival in New Hampshire called Pork Fest.
Pork Fest?
Yeah.
Sounds right up my alley. Unless it's, perhaps a meaning that I'm not going to align with, but carry on.
Anyways, so he goes up there and meets with his other, like, right-wing goofus fucking friends. Nobody is wearing a fucking mask in any of the fucking pictures that were taken.
Oh, man. And he has a kid, man.
He has a kid. Not only does he have a kid, but, like, his profile picture is him literally standing in front of a grill with a fucking AR-15, like, strapped to his back.
See, there are some people who are just gun people. And you know what? I'm not a gun person, so I don't get it. But at the same time, if you want your gun, I mean, I guess go for it. But do you really need to have, like, that kind of weapon? Isn't that like I mean, I don't know shit about guns, but isn't that like basically a semi-automatic weapon?
Yep.
Is that necessary? Like, what do you do? That's not for hunting.
No. That's for hunting people.
Well, right. Exactly. Like, why does a citizen need that? I mean, they're going to probably tell you, like, for protection and shit like that, I guess. But what are you defending against?
That I couldn't answer.
Like, is it a small army that you're defending against that you need that sort of munitions? Or is it like, because, like, I don't know. I think you could probably get away with, like, a pistol, a shotgun, maybe. Like, okay, if I were a gun person and I was going to purchase guns for my safety of my family, few things. One, I would probably get at least a pistol and a shotgun. Because I feel like you probably need, like, a decent boomstick to scare fucking people. Like, that when you rack a shotgun, that's going to scare a motherfucker without even having to fire a shot, Yeah. People are going to stop in their tracks when they hear that. So I would probably have a pistol and a shotgun. Number two, I would have a fucking safe that I locked it up in. Whether I had children or not, I would put that shit in a safe that only, like, I knew the combination to, or the authorities obviously probably have to know the combo, but only the people necessary, like myself, who are actually going to go in and have to use that are going to have the combo. Because God forbid, like kids could be visiting, like, we have lots of friends who have children, and if God forbid, like, 2-year-old kid, you hear the stories, like, all the time. I had a pistol and my 4-year-old daughter, like, shot and killed herself because she found my gun and it was loaded. And that's another thing too. Number three, I would take care of it properly. You don't store it fucking loaded and ready to fire and shit like that. You gotta, like, be like, I guess, have your guns, but have a brain if you're gonna have your guns. And I mean, I'm not gonna say anything about John because I don't know how he handles himself. Maybe he's very responsible and whatnot, but personally, it's not a move I would make. But to each their own.
I don't know, my thing, the thing that I kind of found a little bit hilarious about the situation was, like, all right, fine, you got your guns, you're not wearing a mask, whatever have you, like, why are you wearing a fucking gun? Like, why do you have an AR-15, like, strapped to your fucking back while you're manning a fucking grill? Like, do you think somebody's gonna come over and just invade your fucking grill and take your fucking burgers?
It's a statement, dude. Like, I think I saw.
Yeah, it's a statement.
I'm friends with him
penis.
on Facebook, and I think he posted something about, like, a cleanup thing that they did where they were picking up trash, but they were all, like, carrying pistols or some sort of gun on them visibly they're carrying because they were supporting the cause of like being able to openly carry, from what I could understand. So like if it's for like some sort of statement or some sort of like protest or whatever, I guess that's one thing. But what are you protesting in a backyard like you're saying in front of a grill? Like you're not. What statement are you really making, into whom, and why else do you need? Like, yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, like these burgers need
It's
to
just
taste
posturing.
more like
It's just posturing, basically.
No, it's basically just to me it's like you're just basically announcing that you're fucking insecure about shit. And that
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
and really like dude, it's kind of like think about it, man. Like this is kind of like professional wrestling in that sense of back in the days like Ric Flair would talk about he would have like him and who was it, like Dusty Rhodes, or there was some other wrestler. If one of them got like a brand new Ferrari, like then the next day, like someone would go out and get like a bigger fucking, like a better car or something like that. If one of them went out and bought a big house, one would buy a bigger house.
It's a dick swinging competition.
It is. It's all a dick swinging competition, except with this time, instead of sperm, getting on people, which you can wipe off and sanitize yourself, take a shower or whatever have you, whatever your sexual preference may be. You can just wipe that kind of shit off. You're dealing with fucking bullets now. Like, you can't exactly just brush that off.
Yeah, and I mean, you got you got to emphasize, like, I don't know. I'm sure. I'm not sure, but I don't know what kind of. You just have to be the right kind of gun owner. That's the thing. Like, if you're gonna own guns the right way, I don't have a problem with it. But you just got to be careful, man.
Right, but this is also the kind of individual who. Let's say like eating shrimp was outlawed. He would go out and buy as much fucking shrimp as he could and stand in front of a cop and just start, oh no, I'm eating shrimp. Fuck you, freedom. So really it's not even about like freedom. It's about
more
like
poking the bear.
Yeah, it's more like you're just trying to cause some fucking shit. You're an asshole.
Some people are just like that, man. Some people just want to see the world burn.
Yeah. Exactly. Like some people just want to see the fucking world burn, and I think he is one of them.
I don't know if it's that so much, because it's not necessarily like that. It's not to that level, but it's just like I need to be a rebel through and through. Like
it's almost comical in that sense.
Yeah, well, yeah, because at what point, where do you draw the line? Like, if someone agrees with you, or you're like, well, now I fucking disagree. Like, I need to rebel at all costs. Yeah, but I don't fucking care. Take my guns, motherfucker. Like, yeah, but okay.
But it's all based out of a fear of like somebody's coming to take my guns. It's like nobody's coming to take your fucking guns.
He did have I mentioned this before we cast it, I think last week, but he did have a very hilarious post that it got me, because we recently watched fucking Hamilton, and he posted something about like Hamilton sings an entire play or a bunch of songs about not going to miss their shot, and then what does he do? His son throws away his shot and loses his life, and then he throws away his shot and loses his life. What a dumbass. Like, I thought that was fucking great. Because now every time I hear that, I'm not throwing away my shot song. I'm like, but that's what you fucking did, dude. And I'm sure that's why like he wrote it that way, but like, I don't know. We could get into a whole other thing about that musical for me, but we won't go there.
Yeah, especially because I haven't fucking seen it. I have no desire to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I like musicals, man. Let's be clear, and it's not bad, but it's not my cup of tea, sir. I've tried to enjoy it several times, and it's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not because of like, oh, it's fucking political or anything like that. Like, I don't know. I have no desire to see it, and it's not like because it's a musical. Like, I love the South Park movie. That's a fucking musical.
Oh yeah, that is.
Yeah, I love.
Hey there, Mr. Shittoist. Merry fucking Christmas.
Wrong movie, but anyways.
Yeah, right.
That was just a random episode.
Oh yeah, you're right. That wasn't from the movie.
But anyways, yeah. So like, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That's a fucking musical. I fucking love that.
Yeah, technically it is.
And there are some musicals that I fucking can't stand, i.e., Rock of Ages.
I don't know if I know Rock of Ages. Is that the one with like Tom Cruise or some shit?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I never saw that. I kind of avoided that like the plague.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I took one look at Tom Cruise in that fucking poster, and I was like, nah, nope.
Yeah, I'm just like, no. Just leave my music alone. It's not even my music, but just leave that fucking shit alone. Like, unless you can come up with like a good fucking plot for it,